And we're live for the first time. Can we all see each other?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you? Can? Okay. So, I'm going to assume people can hear us because I can hear us. And I think so, right?
Have everyone else talk.
Everyone,
Hi.
you guys say hi.
Hey.
Hello. Bonjour.
I think we're all here.
While we're seeing
Can
if
Chef
that,
Crissa say something one more time?
how about we each introduce each other? Introduce ourselves, I guess.
That's Mel.
It's like Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
I am Victoria Timpanaro, and this is the Horror Academic Stage channel. If you are used to watching the show, then you have seen me before. Crissa, why don't you go next since you're on top?
I'm Crissa. I don't know. How would you like me to introduce myself? What to say?
Tell us a little something about you.
Okay. I've heard
Okay.
all four of them. I'll go downstairs. There's no audio. Good luck.
All right.
I'm a mom. I'm a journalist. I live in Pennsylvania. I grew up with Allie and had the fortune of meeting you, Vic, and Mel through her. And my husband says he can hear us, so it's working.
Two husbands agree. We are live.
Yay!
We'll wait for all the other parties to agree.
Yeah.
Mel,
So,
why don't you talk a little bit about why you're here?
Well, why I'm here? Because you asked me.
Nice.
Of course. Hi, everybody. I am Melissa. I am from New Jersey. I am the host of the Brook Reading Podcast, where Vic is a frequent co-host of mine. And I a frequent co-host of hers on the Horror Academic. So I wanted to join her tonight for her live event. I don't have a husband, and my wife is not watching, so I don't think she knew we could actually do that, or else she 100% would. But what else? Yeah, I'm super excited to do this. This is fun. I've never done a live YouTube thing before, so this should be pretty cool. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And Allison?
Hi. My name's Alison, and I bring people together. I grew up down the road from Crissa, and I'm not going to say we're the first people to ever podcast, but when we were in elementary school, we used to walk around with a tape recorder and make shows and interview people on the playground.
Yes.
I've been lucky to be on Vic's show and Mel's show as guests multiple times, and very fond of that. It was always a good time. I've done radio for a big chunk of my life, and I'm a photographer, and I'm working on a podcast myself.
Yes.
Cool.
Very cool. And we have confirmation from Lisa that we are also live. She can see us and hear us. So we got everybody seeing it. That's awesome.
That's for you, sis.
So, we're not going to spend this whole time making sure everyone can see us, but what we are going to do
An excellent show.
Yes, because I know everybody loves the idea of us testing you out. You're all our guinea pigs.
Yeah.
But what I thought we would do today, since we're calling this Hanging with the Horror Academic Live, that we should talk about what's going on, what we're watching, what we've been, some people maybe binging, others in a very slow capacity like I do. Let's start with some TV shows. What have you guys been enjoying this so far? Let's not book it just with quarantine, but in the last few months, what have you been enjoying?
So I won't start with my big thing. We'll end with that. But, and so there's you want to watch a bunch of new stuff, right? But I wanted to go, and there have been new things for me, but I wanted to go back to two things. I wanted to go for the comfort level of watching something that I love that makes me feel really good and maybe a little sad. So for the fourth time since I've been a fan, I've rewatched all of Firefly and then Serenity, which I did Serenity yesterday. It was during the storm. Everything was still clicking electronic wise in my house, so I was downstairs watching that, and I was telling another friend, I don't know how I could love something so much that there's so little of, kind of sadly. And
Yeah.
there's the expanding universe and the comics, and I still need to collect all the comics. I don't have all of those. I've got some of the books, and I've got some of those books where it was like an academic reading of it, where they analyze some of the episodes. I know there was a Buffy one too. I have that too. So it was like the academic essays on different episodes and characters. And in one of those books, I like to now sit with it while I watch the episodes, because there's the I forget if it's Mandarin or Cantonese. There's the translation of all the cursing or the dirty things that they say when they can't.
That's an excellent bonus.
In their episodes, you could see, and I wish I could do that, because it sounds really cool. But I'll look it up, and I'll be like, "Son of a motherless goat" or something like that. There's worse things too that like Joss and the crew got away with to have them say stuff when they're exasperated or frustrated. But I mean, I know there's no chance of it ever coming back, and obviously having the film, again, I'm always impressed when I watch the film, and I couldn't believe that something, I forget the time span, maybe one of you remember, from the show to the film, and it shows like the beautiful way like a giant group of devoted fans can really make something happen. And since then there's been a lot of that. We've
Yep.
two of us here have been a part of the Mystery Science Theater revival in a big way. We're proud to say.
Yep.
And then there's so many other versions of that too. But like, I feel like Firefly might have been one of the first ones on a grand scale. I don't know if I'm like talking out of turn.
Aside from that whole Star Trek thing where they got canceled and they got brought back because of fan writing letters, but that was the original.
Is that how Next Generation came?
No, that's how Star Trek continued. That's how they got. I believe it was the third season.
Oh wow! Okay,
and then eventually the movies was because fans reacted when they were yanking it off the air.
On the trail of something great. There we go. Mm-hmm. That's her Firefly. But I always get the same feelings, and even though it's the fourth time all the way through, I like give myself enough time in between the years where I sometimes forget little pieces of an episode, which I'm happy about. Or even if I'm expecting some part that I really love, I'm like excited. I'm like, oh, here comes that line that makes me happy. And sometimes I expect different outcomes, especially between Mal and Inara, but everybody knows that. It's so frustrating. Almost. But yeah, that was one of the ones. I've got another one, but I'll let somebody else go. But that was one of the ones that I already loved and was a fan of, but I needed that joy and also kind of sadness. No spoilers. I needed all the emotions and that familiarity, I guess, back during a time where I wanted like a hug from something I like, so to say.
Okay, do you want to round robin a couple of times around then? So, Crissa, what have you been watching?
So I took the opportunity to finally watch American Gods. I had some time where I could sit down and actually watch a season all the way through. So I watched both seasons. I actually started the first season, I don't know, a year or so ago.
Oh.
and Vic is arranging furniture.
Sorry, I'm just fixing my name.
Like I just can move this over here.
I'm sorry. I just look like I'm on fire, so I'm trying to fix that. live television.
That's why everyone's tuning in, Vic.
Yep.
Listen.
Yes.
All four of
moving
you. Thank you.
So yeah, I just thought I wanted to watch American Gods. I haven't read any of the original material. I know, Allie, you have. I know the third season starts sometime this year. I don't quite know when. Maybe in October, I want to say. Little bit disappointed that Mr. Nancy isn't coming back because I loved him.
Yeah.
It's a weird. I still don't know how I feel about the show, and I watched both seasons like pretty much back to back. But the main plot, the main characters, I don't like so much. I like all the side characters. Allie, you're just
Sorry, it's allergies. It's not COVID. The pollen count's high. I can go to my phone and show you. My nose is running.
Oh God, girl.
I knew this was going to happen. And
Oh,
I got my
no.
allergy shots today, so I'm like activated.
Oh, ugh.
I love the first
So,
season, Krista,
yeah.
and it's really because Brian Fuller, like the whole team was like cracking. They were firing on all cylinders. How many analogies do I want to use? But Fuller leaving and the dissension between him and Neil Gaiman, which is I find sad because I'm a fan of both of their creative minds, but unfortunately they didn't like mesh well. You could see, and you're telling me, you saw it in the second season, even though you didn't read the book or whatever, you felt it too. And that's the kind of the bummer.
I don't like Shadow Moon. I don't like him.
He's not
Like,
I can see.
He just and supposedly, I guess there's a reason he is the way he is, where he does what Mr. Wednesday tells him to do. Like, there's a reason. And I know, I kind of know what that reason is because I like spoilers. So I will go looking for spoilers
You're
and looking
ruiner?
for explanations.
For yourself? I didn't know that.
Yes, no, I will. I'm always one to read the end of a book halfway through just because I'm like, I didn't know what happened.
Krista, oh God,
It doesn't ruin it for me. I just like
tonight.
yes.
Wow.
Anyway, so
Go ahead.
but I just like he's not a likable character, and I think you have to like him some way, and I just don't. So I don't know how I feel, but I'll still watch the third season at least for a little bit to see if what they do with it.
I got rid of stars, so you just let me know.
Okay.
We had to like trim a little here and there from the cable bill, and I was like, fine. As long as I have HBO, but yeah.
We trimmed all
So that was
so
one
I
of
have to
my
wait.
one of my coronavirus binges.
Nice.
Very nice. Melissa?
Oh, it's my turn. Cool.
Yes.
So yes, I did. Al, you mentioned like comfort food, like drunk history and stuff like that. I've seen all those episodes 46 times, but they just like it's never sad. Nothing about this ever sad. But I started this actually pre-quarantine, and I finally finished season 1 last night, and I am definitely getting through seasons 2 and 3. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, girl.
I
love it.
I was saving this one as a surprise. I didn't tell you guys I was watching it, but holy crap, dude, it's so good. Like, there's a lot of good things I want to talk about, but like the first thing, Crissa, when you said like the show that you were watching, the thing that annoyed you most was like the main characters. Yes, same. Sabrina's annoying. She's I can't.
I'm moving furniture too, so just excuse me.
Oh, you're no.
I'm taking direction from downstairs. So
okay. But the more and more you go, like,
yeah.
Did I what?
Woo.
No, I'm
not the mama.
Not the mama.
jump into your thing. But her wishy-washiness of can I witch or can I? I'm just like, girl, do it.
Shut
damn.
up. Thank
Or
you.
like just be both and stop whining.
I know exactly.
Like,
That's not me.
And stop being like two-faced to your friends. They're telling you like huge things going on with their life. And
Yes.
and you don't admit to your own shit until you don't admit to your own stuff until they're basically like,
is this adult?
I sent this to
I
Not
know.
For Kids, don't worry.
Okay. Because I'm like, yeah, you do know who you invited.
I
Right?
was going to say, I mean, I know all of us when we
Shut
get
your
going.
mouth, Melissa.
But yeah, like I said, I'm only at the end of season 1, so I don't know if I'm spoiling too much for anybody watching, but like, yeah, her friends just found out she's a witch, and then they're like, so you're a witch? And she's just like, yeah, I am. Just shut up, fucking admit it. Like, your aunts, both your aunts are super strong. You apparently come from this really strong family. And I really do enjoy the family history part because they didn't go into this to, Melissa Joan Hart one. And I don't know the comic books, so I don't know from lore or from canon or whatever. Mm-hmm. But oh my god, all the other characters I love. I even love the ones you're supposed to hate. I love Prudence. I love Miss Wardwell. I love all the. Oh my god! Damn, she's not only
like,
she
I'm gonna
hot,
be like
but
her when I grow up.
I know. I always think of you when I see her, dude. I always think of you.
I will totally say,
yeah.
just hang on for more to come because everybody's got so much more story to tell you.
No,
yeah,
dude,
it
I
gets
know.
so
I'm so
good.
excited.
Yeah.
Melissa, it gets really sexy.
Okay.
You're gonna be happy.
Well, that would be great. I mean, if if I wasn't watching it like by myself, but like there are episodes that are so creepy that like my better half is like, I can't watch. It's too demony. It's too like in your face. And I'm like, you watched Buffy though, right? But like, okay, I get it.
While this is more satanic than Buffy, yes.
And also, I'd say
Yeah.
Buffy was
I
dealing with
call it-
broadcast regulations and
True,
it's a
true,
Netflix
true.
show, so
I
they can
actually
go a lot
called-
deeper.
Yeah.
I called Sabrina satanic Buffy at first.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes.
It's very similar.
For
I
me,
mean,
it was like
Yeah.
2 thumbs up. I was like, more, please.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
no,
go.
it's real good. I'm looking forward to I'm probably gonna jump into season 2 after this. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's real good.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yes, that's
Yay.
yes. We all want to hear more about this as you keep going because we
Well,
need to relive it.
you know-
It was so good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep doing this segment on my show as long as the quarantine's happening. So I'll be doing the same thing, giving updates and stuff. So
Very
nice.
cool. Along the lines of things that I'm only finally now getting to, we've been spending this year watching Game of Thrones.
No,
Cue
I haven't
that.
watched, but I want to.
Girl.
I know that music is so good. Oh my god.
I don't like the opening sequence. I'm okay with the music, but the motion graphic of the city, the map unraveling, I'm like, fast forward. I'm sorry. It's not that one's not catching me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's just not into
That's
the opening.
probably from the books. I haven't read the books, but they probably
either.
have a lot of
Yes,
like
they
layouts
do.
of the maps in the books.
Hmm?
Crissa, did you read them?
I thought,
Yeah, I did. I think it's just I think it's an introduction because
It's to lay
place
out all the lands, yeah.
place is very important
Yeah.
in Game
Yeah.
of Thrones.
And
That's
I believe it even
yeah.
kind of puts the names in the places too, so that all
Yeah,
makes sense.
right.
I'm just,
Right.
I don't know. I like an opening that evolves, and I'm like
Okay.
in the end of season 5, and it's the same opening from season 1. So
Really?
maybe that's-
I
yeah.
thought it did. It changes a little bit.
smidge. Okay,
It
when
does.
when new environments are introduced, that they show
Okay.
up in the opening.
Right.
so the map is more filled out. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Powerful,
definitely
sir.
enjoying it, but I mean, it's one of those, we don't have cable, so I just waited, and then it seemed kind of as everyone in the world was watching it, I felt a little.
You had to stick your fingers in your ears most of the time. We were
Yeah.
at parties together.
I mean, between that and Walking Dead, it's just like and you know,
she'd have to
I
run into
steal.
another room at our friends' like Halloween party. And you'd be like, "Oh, sorry,"
You
because
don't
we'd
know
all
how
be like,
fast I would scroll through like social media, like
Oh, yeah,
all the
that's-
shows.
yeah.
I don't want to know any of
Exactly.
this. Yeah, but it's one of those things when you give up cable, you just you deal with.
Yeah.
And where other ones where I was like okay with waiting each season and then watching a season, I either I either buy a Blu-ray or a DVD set, or I will sometimes, if I can't wait, do the Netflix. But with this, it was so big of a world anyway, and I was so far like all right, I'm just gonna wait till it's over at this rate, because by the time I was really thinking about it, it had only they'd announced there were like only 3 seasons left. So it's like,
Oh wow.
yeah, we're just gonna
Yeah.
wait. I mean, not that I hadn't heard about it, but I was kind of like
"Of course."
at the point where everyone's telling me you need to watch this. It was kind of like, okay, but I'm not going to watch while you're all watching, I don't know, season 6 or something, and try and catch up in time. It's not going to
Yeah, and
happen.
they
So
have that
Yeah.
person who can tell you something because they forget where you are and like mess up your whole jam.
right, and it's just like I'm just going to wait. And actually, I remember talking to a couple of friends about like, yeah, it's almost over. Just watch the whole thing then. So we've been doing basically like a season a month almost. So we're like I
Okay.
said, we have 2 episodes left in season 5. Season 6 is already sitting on deck waiting for us. And I
I'm
know,
excited for you.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. I mean, and I know
Oh.
everyone. A lot of people, when I tell them, "Oh, I'm watching Game of Thrones," they're like, "Oh, the end," and I'm like, "I'll deal with that when
Oh,
I get
come
there, guys.
on.
Come
No,
on."
really.
You know what? No.
Okay,
No, you shouldn't
Fuck
do
that
that.
shit. I'll say that. That's
All right.
rude.
It
The
is.
only
Yeah,
time I've
exactly.
the only time I've ever said that is Dexter, and that's warranted. Krista, you could back me up.
I never watched the ending of Dexter.
Oh, okay, never mind.
No. But I probably
It's like
it doesn't match the book.
I didn't
I've
finish
heard
reading
about
all
what
the books.
happened. So, no, you know what?
It was a
Game of
bummer.
Thrones ended way too quickly. That last season was very rushed.
It was
But the actual ending, I felt satisfied with.
I didn't have a problem like everybody else. So I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear what you guys think.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's going to be cool.
I definitely understand, and this is another one of those shows, like when we started watching American Horror Story, or even some of the later seasons of Walking Dead, where everyone else had kind of jumped off by then. Where I'm like,
I left.
But you know, I enjoy something better when A, there's no commercials.
Oh yeah.
And B,
Yeah.
I don't have to wait till next week to find out what's out. You know, what's going to happen
Yes.
next. I just like to play,
Yeah.
and then I'm fine. Even if I average like an episode a night,
Yeah.
I feel fine. I think a lot of seasons, I'll say specifically with Walking Dead, that I feel a lot of people dropped off. If it hadn't had those chunks of time, especially with this bullshit with we do now with cable shows of we're going to take a mid-season break. We're going to give you 2 finales. No, all that bullshit. No, I just want to watch.
Well,
a
now
season.
you've got the COVID break.
Right.
So we
Well,
don't even
that's
see the season
different.
finale until October.
Right. But at least they had a reason this time. Otherwise,
Well, yeah,
like,
but
it's
I
all
mean,
in the
it was
can.
like
You just-
forever.
we just want to make you wait. Yeah. And we want you to have to deal with, waiting for it to go onto Netflix for the first half of the season so you can rewatch, and then you can, like, it's the whole game for their advertisers that I'm sick and tired of.
Yeah.
And cable takes advantage of that.
I left Walking Dead because of something very specific within the show where I was like, we're done. Bye.
Wow. I mean, I know a lot of people dropped off at Terminus, which...
Oh, no. I was still going.
And I had such
Really?
a problem with people
Terminus
leaving.
Terminus was cool.
Yeah,
Cursing
I mean,
too much.
let's put it... Don't worry. Let's put it this way.
Wait,
And this is a good...
cannibals? Am I forgetting, right?
What?
Terminus was the cannibal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So,
That was awesome.
and
That
here's
whole
and this is a pain in the ass too, because it's like,
it was,
wait,
like,
so you're
super
okay.
gnarly.
You're okay with all the zombies eating people, but once the people are eating people, now you're gonna have like some moral stance. What's the difference,
What do
guys?
you think's going to happen when the world ends? Like,
girl.
people are
No.
going to eat people.
Right? There's
We
no.
got to do something.
You're out of cows.
That segues into my next show, by the way.
What?
So that segues into my next show.
Yes. But so that's my thing is last year last year I did a rewatch of all of Walking Dead, so that I finished up with where we're at now in the show, and I went from that into all of Game of Thrones. So like I said, season 6 will start next week in my house. So I don't know if all you people had it already. I don't know, but I'll find out what happens soon.
Cool.
Vic, if you don't mind my asking, what platform are you watching it on? Because I've been back and forth. I want to try it out too, but I don't know where you're watching it.
Good old fashioned Blu-ray player. Because the seasons are getting cheaper as time goes on. And,
them.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah. What happened?
Yeah, I don't
was,
have one of those.
when we were Christmas shopping, they Black Friday, I guess, or maybe like just Black Friday sales. Season 1 was $15.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
my
what
God.
happened? Because they were just
is a
releasing.
bargain.
Yeah, they were just releasing season 8,
Yeah.
and they were ready to release, after the new year, the box set of everything kind of thing. So I'm like, I can do $15 to find out, because I think it's all on. It was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but they might have pulled it. But it's like I could watch it there, or I could watch it whenever I feel like, and not have to worry about if they take it away from me.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of cannibals,
Let's go.
I'd like to, and then this is a Gina Torres bridge because she's in Firefly and she's also in this show.
Nice.
Oh, wait. Before you start, I just want to say that because of talking to you, I also started a rewatch of Firefly as well. So this will be my third time through. I'm about like episode 4. I don't want it to go too fast. So it's like I'm doing like one a week maybe. So.
Oh, wow. I don't say, I'm a glutton, right? So I'm just
Yeah,
like, oh,
me too.
I'm like the cake, all of it in my face. So.
Or knock down a screen door.
We can tell that story later if you want to. It's up to you, Chris.
Now I want to know the story.
We'll tell the story later.
But I want to hear about the cannibals.
We will have anecdote time. Anyway, speaking of cannibals, This is my plea. Looking right into the camera. Everyone, please watch Hannibal on Netflix. If you're a fan already, rewatch it like I just did. If you're not a fan, rewatch it anyway. It's gorgeous. We all want a 4th season. God damn it, let's go. Hannibal, this was the other thing. When I saw that it had just appeared on Netflix, I got so excited because my darling husband Ed had never seen it, and he loves true crime, horror. He loves serial killers like me. I don't mean to say it like that. He's fascinated in that world. He knows a lot about it. And he was The Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon. I know we watched the other movies. We don't have to talk about them. They're god awful. So he had never watched Hannibal. And I was like, oh my God, are you kidding? I wanted to see it again. And I was so excited to experience that, have a person's first time next to me, because Hannibal's so gorgeous and you don't really know what to expect. I remember being anti the show before I watched it. I was like, how dare they? NBC, what the heck? If it's not Anthony Hopkins, I don't want anything to do with it. Pit, pit, pit. And then I had a lot of friends that were like, no, Allison, watch it. You'll love it. And friends that I respect their opinion, like they know how to refer things to me. They know what I like. And they're like, if I'm telling you you're going to like it, you're going to like it because I know what you like. And I started watching and then like instant love. It is a gorgeous piece of art. And it's better than NBC even deserved. It's on par with like our beautifully crafted like Showtime or HBO stuff. Wow. And it's all the way through, start to finish, those 3 seasons, perfect. And Mads Mikkelsen, I love Anthony Hopkins forever and ever. But what he can do with a character that is fully allowed to roam around in a world. So this is obviously Hannibal before anyone knows he's Hannibal or he's captured. So he's got full range of the whole world. He's got the most gorgeous suit you'll ever see. He's like living his full best life and nobody knows what he's doing. And he's playing his like giant chess game with everybody, every other character, and they have no idea. It's beautiful. It's Brian Fuller, who's gorgeous, American Gods. Who he's like Midas. Everything's gold that he touches, I feel. So I can't say enough.
I would just say, saying Brian Fuller makes me say everyone needs to watch Pushing Daisies.
Pushing Daisies is where I started with him because your buddy Brian for the recommendation, and you'll see certain actors and stuff. Well, that's how you know when someone's a great creator, because they follow him around. Like Gillian Anderson in Hannibal also was in American Gods with Fuller. She left when he left too, which says a lot. When it's like, I don't want to be a part of this creative thing without this person. So I had also watched the cast, the Zoom cast reunion, which was like 3 weeks ago at a Nerdist house. Did that, and to even put more of like a big giant fuzzy heart on top of it. And I know you'll laugh when I say that's what this kind of dark and disturbing show makes me feel.
This guy who eats people, get it, yeah.
No, so well, that's the other part of it that's great, is that they had a chef and food stylist as a main part of the show. So every dish that he prepares looks delicious. And that's what's so awesome about it, is you know what it is. And when he's having his parties and all the food looks beautiful and good, and you're like, I might try that canapé, even though it's Frank or whoever, because it looks so good. That's what's so awesome about it. It's like another level of like how they kind of get you with it and like the artistry of it. Everyone on this Zoom reunion was just like happy to be there, happy to be with each other, just like the 4 of us chatting like buddies, telling funny stories. I love when a cast and crew is so connected and full of joy to be with each other, and they're proud of the art that they've made together. So they pretty much all said, oh yeah, if Netflix wants to do season 4, we're all for it. So
that's great.
Yep.
Please.
These days. That's what it takes. Yeah.
No serial killery stuff isn't your thing, but it's gorgeous.
I know. It's on. Okay. Let me ask you a like Thomas Harris world question then.
Yes,
So
I haven't read all the books.
I've only read the first book because
okay,
it was that good.
It got you.
And, yeah. But
know,
I've seen all the films.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
even Hannibal Rising.
Oh, I keep forgetting that even. Never mind. I haven't read
Don't
all the
worry,
books. Never mind. I haven't watched all the films. I missed that film. But that to me is too similar to where I stopped with the world not that these are equated, but Texas Chainsaw, when they did the let's tell the story of Leatherface as a kid. No, I don't really want to hear that story. So, going back too far, kind of
well,
thing, right?
Hannibal Rising.
Yeah, Hannibal Rising is when he's a kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't with those. I don't think
I
that's.
do want to hear it though. I like that Hellraiser where you learn about Hellraiser.
But
Which one is that?
Well, you're thinking of the fourth one, Bloodlines. Yeah, that one puts me to sleep.
I like that part of that movie. It's
got some.
backstory.
It does have some really beautiful sequences, but I forget that they also go into space. I think in that one because I don't get that far that often. Because I'm like, oh, nap time.
Space
but
Hellraiser.
Yes. Oh, there was somebody who, when I watched it again, was in that, and I was like, holy crap, that's somebody from, I want to say, Parks and Rec is in Bloodline.
Get out.
Yeah, it's.
I gotta watch that this week now.
You know I'm bad with actor names. That's
Hold on, I got it.
the city planner, the assistant to the city planner.
Mel's our IMDb.
Yes, thank you.
Checker.
Girl,
I got it, bro. Yep.
Were you? You have it.
What am I looking at?
Look up Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the guy
This
that
is
Matt.
on IMDb Action Live.
Oh yeah, this is amazing. No sponsorship, but if you want to in the future, it would help.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of sponsorship.
Are you saying that in regards to just Hannibal as the show or Hannibal Rising?
No. My question really is,
go ahead.
How do you feel about the movie Manhunter? Because I am a big fan of that film, even more so than the remake of Red Dragon. And it's a time capsule film, so it's of the time it's made. But I love that film, and I think that film is so intense, but I know a lot of people hate it now.
Here's the thing. I've only seen that film once, and it was because of you. So, and I enjoyed it, and I also enjoyed it for another reason, and you could make fun of me because Gil Grissom was in it.
Oh, yes, you love Gil Grissom.
I love Gil Grissom. What's up, supervisor? Yeah. So I have a thing for why did I just forget his name? Mel, look that up too.
Yeah, this is not going to be the show where you're going to find people's names. I'm sorry. We're just not going to do that.
He's really good. I even have notes.
Oh, no.
But
yeah, IMDb is my notes. We all,
Yeah.
I liked it. I know it's dated, but of course we're all fans of dated material that people rag on, right? We had a whole podcast about that.
Yeah.
I actually like the movie Red Dragon, but I'd have to watch. I should watch Manhunter again because it had been a while.
I would recommend. I mean, a lot of people criticize that it's like Miami Vice versus Hannibal, but
it's what year are we talking too?
Oh, I could.
Is it early?
Okay, are you talking about the 1986 film?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
that one we found. So it's 86. Okay, that's what we wanted to know about that one.
Okay.
I believe it's Tom Noonan who plays
Hannibal.
Well, no, not Hannibal. He plays. See, he's
Dollarhide. He's Francis.
Yes, he's Francis. Yeah. So and he's just the creepiest. And the way he is in that film is just amazing to me. Yeah, he's messed up, and I dig it. But
I like that.
I've forgotten what Mel was looking up.
She was looking up who was in Parks and Rec,
and was also in. Wait, I can do that. Wait. So
there's a lot of people in Parks and Rec.
Yes, there are. Yeah. I'm going to segue to Crissa. Tell us about another show you've been watching. And I'm going to look up.
Oh, okay. What other show have I been watching?
My nose is running.
Well, we could talk about Hoarders because that's my obsession right now, or we can talk about but that's not really horror. It's horrifying, but it's not really horror.
It's horrible. It's horrific.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm obsessed with it, but
does it make you want to clean the house and freak you out when you have too much stuff?
No, not really. I don't know. I think it is the same reason that I will watch horror because there's no enjoyment out of it. Like, it's uncomfortable to watch and kind of disgusting. And it's almost the same feeling that you get when you're watching horror because horror doesn't give you a nice happy feeling either. I think sometimes.
Sometimes it can.
Sometimes.
The end of Midsummer and the end of The Witch gave me a nice happy feeling. Go ahead.
Because they both had like evolutions in their story that made you feel better. Yeah.
But so yeah, that's my current obsession. But I also did binge get through the first season of The Boys, which was fun.
Yeah,
I did too. That was fun.
a good one.
Yeah.
Really,
that was a lot of
Watch that
fun.
this summer.
Crazy intense. There were many points where my husband and I were like, did they actually do that?
Yeah.
Like, did they blow somebody up? And are you kidding me? So that was intense. That was
they just show
fun
a
to watch,
sex
too.
den full of superheroes? What?
Yeah,
they did that.
like, wait,
Whoa.
what? What?
I saw Amazon has its trailer for season 2 coming ASAP.
Yes.
So I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, I saw the short trailer.
Next
they
month.
put out a new one today.
Yeah, it is. It is next month, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think September 1st or
yeah,
I think so.
Did you and you didn't read the comics, did you, for The Boys?
No.
Because
no, I didn't.
That's another one of those where I read the comics. I'm like, there's no way they're ever going to be able to make a movie or a TV show based on this shit. Like, that's not going to happen.
Is it because the comics are even like darker and more disturbing?
Oh, way disturbing. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, this just isn't going to ever happen. But it's Garth Ennis, who's the writer of Preacher. And I know there's a lot of Preacher fans out there that absolutely hate the TV show. I enjoy the TV show. The comic is probably of my top 3 greatest comic books of all time. It's the best written horror comic that I can think of off the top of my head. So Garth Ennis, when I was reading Preacher, as like when we were in college, I was reading Preacher, and I was like, oh my God, this is just insane. How he's allowed to tell this kind of story? Holy crap. Like, it was just so disturbing because it's named Preacher, and he literally will attack the church. It's like their vision of what the Messiah would be now is so dark and messed up. And then when they got to that part in the show, I'm like, you're not gonna show that, right? And then they kind of did, and I was like, holy crap. But
I still have to have that one on my list. I don't know if I'll ever get to the comic, but I do want to watch it.
Watch the show. I definitely recommend.
I enjoyed the show. I haven't watched the last season yet because we lost it on our DVR. Our DVR died, and we lost like all the stuff that we saved, and we never got back to it. But I enjoyed it. It was, there were points in there where I'm like, are they what? Huh? Are they doing this? And there were a few times with The Boys where I was like, did they actually do that?
Yeah. That's just Garth Ennis' writing. And I'm so excited to see how they're going to do this. I mean, going back to Walking Dead really quick, I remember an interview with Kirkman where he said he wrote Negan so there would be something that the TV show wouldn't have. Because he's like, because Negan in the comic is so different than in the show.
It's supposed to be Henry Rollins, so I was like...
Well, he's supposed to, but
they asked Henry, and Henry had something else what he was doing, but they actually did go to Henry.
I understand.
He's supposed to represent Henry. I know he's not supposed to, because Henry Rollins isn't like that. Because he physically looks like Henry Rollins.
He's
like drawn to be,
like almost like a biker kind of dude. But the thing is that he's not that smart. So that's where it'd be weird to have Henry Rollins play him, because he's just one, the smartest people in punk rock and everything. But
Henry likes playing, like, he always gets that like
the dumb cop
role, and he loves doing the dumb cop in the meathead.
That's true.
Fun. That's fun for him.
Well, Negan in the series is certainly not dumb.
No.
So,
So this is not that this isn't going to be like the Walking Dead show, but this isn't Talking Dead way later. No, but
let's see how many years are we.
But my problem with how they brought Negan into the show was, you took this dumb guy who every other word out of his mouth was fuck, and he's like, there's no way they're going to do that, because you can't write his dialogue. He's going to sound stupid if you're replacing words. Then it's just going to sound dumb. But what they did was they basically made the governor too. He's like,
okay, gotcha.
He's all slick, he's suave, he's it's just like, that's not, and the governor isn't like that in the comic either, which is bizarre to me. He's really a biker in the comic, the governor. So there's so many changes through the way that they've done it that the characters sometimes are name only, but I always think of that. So it's like if he wrote that specifically saying, all right, I like being part of the show, I love making the comic, I want there to be something one can have the other doesn't, and it didn't work, then that explains like everything Garth Ennis has written being up for grabs now for properties, because it's like, well, then we can do whatever the hell we want, and we can get away with a lot of shit now that we couldn't 10 years ago. So considering how dark and messed up the comic was, it took me a couple episodes to get into the show, because I was like, this isn't the way the story's told.
It wasn't dark enough.
No, and it's trying to tell. I don't remember the comic telling both sides of the story as much. Where you're kind of getting to like some of the Supes, or you're getting to know them, and it's like, I don't remember that. I don't remember feeling bad for her, but it was different. It was a very different take. And then plus I kept thinking, this is the most expensive song lineup ever in a show. Like every minute possible there's a song cue, and it's always the song cue you would think would be right for this moment. So it's like, damn,
that's kind of Watchmen movie of them.
Yes.
It made me feel like.
Well, the whole thing is very Watchmen. This is like, this is the sequel to the Watchmen, really.
Yeah.
So, but I love that too. And that's a movie a lot of people hate that I love.
And it's not. I thought the series was excellent. Did you watch it?
I just got it.
No.
I haven't watched it yet, but it was next on my list.
Not that I'm biased. The soundtrack's excellent.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor. But the series, a really great job. I like the series better than the film. I wasn't anti the film. I don't have like a big connection to the graphic novel. Like I know a lot of people are huge fans. So, but I know some people were just like furious with the film. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. I think it's a great representation.
Films. I get it. Yeah.
I mean,
Hannibal Rising and Hannibal. Garbage.
There's a lot of stuff where it's like you can't tell the story the way it was written, and you have to find another way to tell it sometimes. And it's the same thing with V for Vendetta when that came out. I read the graphic novel right before I watched it, and the graphic novel is like old school 80s comics. It's wordy as hell, like back in the day they were like writing prose, and nowadays it's all action in comics, really.
Right.
But so they had to sum up so much dialogue into being able to show you what's happening.
Right.
So, but I think they did a great job with that one too. Another one that people say is good. I don't know. I like a good comic to movie, that when it works right.
Yeah, exactly.
Mel, what else you been watching?
Are we still on TV?
Yeah, we're still on TV.
Okay. What have I been watching? Oh, I did start Schitt's Creek last night. I know that's not horror either, but that's freaking good, man. That is good stuff.
I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, it's good.
We fell in love with that hardcore.
Yeah. Yep. And earlier this year I binged Community. That was
I was
great.
just going to say, another thing that you watched, it's not horror, but come on.
Not horror, but changed my life.
Yes.
Like,
amazing.
We just started Community a week ago. We finished season 1 last night.
Oh, yay.
Nice. That's awesome.
Episode.
Which one? The pinball.
All the pinball episodes, except for the last season, are so good. All of the everything episodes, except for the last season, are so good. But God, the pinball episodes crack me the hell up.
There's so many good. God. I think Community is probably one of the best like sitcom kind of shows ever for me. I just love everything about it. The characters are great. I got hooked when they did the D&D episode. I saw the promo for it. And was like,
what season's that? I can't wait. That's gonna be fun.
2 or 3.
2?
Yeah, it's 2.
I think.
So I was like, Chevy Chase is gonna be playing Dungeons and Dragons. I need to watch this. What the hell is this show? I don't know, but I need to watch this. But so many great things. I don't want to talk too much about it because Allie's only starting, so no details. But man,
we love it. Oh God,
This is how out of the loop I am, though. And I mean, I thought like I was more in the loop because I teach like middle schooler, or I had middle schoolers, but I don't listen to them or I don't care about their shit. So I'm watching it in like seasons. I don't care. In like seasons 2 or 3, and Shara's watching with me, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's Childish Gambino," and I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Right. That took me a minute to figure out what the hell show.
She points to Troy, and I'm like, no, that's Troy. I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, he's like a really famous musician. I'm like, are you serious? I had no idea. But he was so musical in the show, so it totally makes sense.
When the song was it "This Is America" dropped, and I
Yeah,
I'm like, holy shit, that's him. That's who Childish
Yeah.
Gambino is.
So everyone needs to go see that. Now
that's an amazing
still
video.
incredibly relevant video.
Definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, I was blown away when I realized that was the same person.
Yeah.
And
I
yeah, I'm
think he
late to
was
the
in
game.
the live action Lion King too.
Yes.
And he was Lando Calrissian in Solo.
In Solo.
Yes.
Yep.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
Solo. I know. That's
Me too.
wishy-washy
We're the
one,
only
too.
two people. It's fine.
No, Keith does too.
Oh,
There's three of
no.
us.
People. It's fine.
Because this is my bummer is like I loved Solo because you get to see some of these little things here and there, and I was like, ooh, so this is a great setup for them to make Lando the sequel. And
I know.
And I'm like,
wonderful.
man, that's not going to happen. Now, there's
I know.
some mumblings that might be another TV show, but
Okay. Well,
if they could get him to do a whole show, that would be crazy. But
yeah,
yeah,
true.
Community. So much love for that show.
Yeah.
There's so many geek moments. It's one of those very much like Big Bang Theory, where there are so many jokes that are so ingrained geek society stuff that it's just like, wow, I can't believe somebody said that on a TV show that a lot of people watch.
Yeah.
But
that was another one where I thought I would love the main characters, but then I ended up just like falling in love with all the side characters. Like I went in like knowing Joel McHale, obviously, and I was like, oh, I like him. He's super funny. I'm totally going to follow his, plot line or whatever. But then I was like, oh, Abed, you're my goddamn hero. Like all the side people were just great. And freaking Alison Brie, who's on Glow.
Yes,
which
exactly.
I also love. Goddamn love Glow.
There was
one of my favorite characters.
yeah. There was the test online, one of those clickbait tests that was like, which person?
You got the Who Are You in
But
Community?
it ended up on Twitter. It just came down to who do you think you are? Like people weren't even taking the test. It's like who do you think you are in Community?
Like,
I'm I don't know if I'm sad to say it, but I must be my friend group's Abed. It's just how it is, right?
No, don't be sad about that at all. That's like the best
I said
ever.
I am so full of
my
useless knowledge and random movie encyclopedia in my head that I just feel like I'm Abed, but that's just me.
Yeah. No,
But I
but
love
he's
that.
awesome.
We all have a little of that in us because when he thinks that way, or he'll do the narration, or he'll like set up the scene as if like they're the Breakfast Club type of thing that I remember just seeing. So it's like they were dancing on the
So
desk
good.
and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
my nerves.
that's how I think too, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I remember years ago there was this thing where there was some debate that happened at some party we were all at where it was like Parks and Rec is the best show ever, and I'm like, oh, but Community's really good too. No, Community sucks. And I was like,
Would never say it.
so I kind of
love Parks and Rec though. That's like a
I did
big
enjoy it, but
part.
I got to that after Community. Community was totally my diehard, and then I found Parks and Rec and was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good too. And then I got, oh, this is really good. It had more time to evolve too, though.
Right, I got you.
Yeah. There was one other thing I was going to say about that was, well, there's certain moments in Community that are perfect, but it's also, I work in a community college, like full disclosure, so it has an extra layer of fun to me. Like I love how it's a community college, but some of them have been there for like 6 and 8 years.
That old guy with the backpack. What's his name?
Which one?
The dude who looks like he's got to be in his 80s. The one with the backpack.
Oh,
yeah.
what's his name? Yeah.
I haven't
remember
watched
his
that in
name.
a while.
He always
know.
cracks me up. It almost makes me want to go back to, now we can't, but there's like a SUNY Orange right by where I live.
Mhm.
It almost makes me want to like go back and take a class. I know it's not going to be like the show,
No.
but I'm like, I want to find my little group of misfits.
You have them. We're just not together in school
we
anymore.
don't, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's us. Yeah.
Do we? I guess I should throw out another show. I've actually also been watching Star Trek Discovery, another show that many people in the fandom have no interest in.
See a face, Melissa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because I... Go ahead, though.
You want to share?
Well,
I know.
Have you shared
Okay,
already?
we talked about this because Vic was like, I want to give it a shot and, give it a fair shake and blah, blah, blah. And I told her basically, okay, if you think it's good and worthy, then maybe I'll check it out. But again, I don't want to sign up for another subscription service.
I
Oh,
don't.
wait, that's CBS, right?
Like,
That's another thing where this is where it pays off to be that person that still buys the discs, because it's like,
Yeah.
I just wait a really long ass time and I'll get it anyway.
And then so you bought what, season 1?
We watched season 1 last year. We watched season 2 this year. So we're like probably 2 years after when CBS takes it off their app. But and by the way, since they don't sponsor us either, CBS app is probably the worst app I've ever given a free trial to.
I'm sure
within a week I was like, give me that back.
I've heard it's atrocious.
They don't give you like a full. At least when I tried it when they first launched it, and I knew that Star Trek Discovery was coming. They don't give you a full season of anything. It's like, here's the 6 episodes, and it's like, what the hell is this crap? Because I was like,
that's why.
Yeah,
that's so stupid.
Well, they're dicks.
I wasn't into that.
But I will. Are you watching Discovery?
Yeah, we've watched it. Yeah,
because Chris
no.
Star Trek. I know you were Next Gen.
Oh yeah, no, I loved Next Gen, and I think I watched a little bit of. I think I watched all of Deep Space Nine. I think I gave up maybe Voyager at some point, and just kind of got away with it. But I did love Next Gen. No, I may get CBS when The Stand comes out.
Well,
because I gotta see that.
Yeah, exactly. I was that too.
Which, when we get to the book discussion, we can talk all about that and the fact that I've been reading that for 6 months.
Have you been rereading The Stand? Oh wow, dude!
It was but that could be a discussion for another episode.
Yeah.
Yes, Mel, I am still in the summer, the year, the lifetime of King. Like, I started in the beginning. I started with Carrie. I'm going in order. I've only gotten to The Stand, which is like 4 books in. So that can be like, books can be one of our later episodes, but I do want to see that mini series. I really enjoyed the one in the 90s.
Yep.
Yes.
Was it the 90s? But I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I actually bought that on Voodoo because I wanted to rewatch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you two own it. Yeah, don't you? Yeah.
Crissa had it. Crissa, I remember you taped it on Chris. Yes.
Yeah.
Crissa,
I had it on
VHS.
I had it on VHS. Yeah.
Did you buy it? Because I remember you recorded it. I might have recorded it too, but they had it on Voodoo for I don't know how much, and I just bought it because I don't know. I couldn't remember if Ed had seen it or not, but I wanted to rewatch it to get.
Do they really? They have it on Voodoo?
You have to buy it though. You can't rent it. But I was
no,
like,
it's fine. I own a bunch of crap on Voodoo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Go get it.
I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, I am, because I want to do that on my show, and I'm obviously going to have to rewatch that. But yeah, that's awesome.
Mel, when you get to it, I'll come on. I'll talk about it.
Well, yeah,
but then I'll have to finish it first. I had to finish it first.
That's fine. That's fine.
I don't know if I could. If you do that one, you got to give me a way heads up.
I haven't read it yet, so same. Because
and that's funny. I gave you like a 2-month heads up for it, and you did amazing. You knocked it out of the damn park. So.
Yeah, but The Stand, like I remember my Chris's friend Heather in middle school had it, and it was bigger than her history book. And when she would take it out to read it at like, I think we were in home ec, I remember her putting it on the table, and it was like,
yeah.
And I was very intimidated. And I love Stephen King, but can I do that? Can I do The Stand? And then I always just felt like, I can't. But yes, I can. So,
it's only like 200 more pages than it. I mean, it was pretty long. It's only like 200 or 300 more pages.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I was intimidated by it for years. I didn't read The Stand until about 2008. We went on a train ride.
That's
like a train Amtrak vacation, and I was like, I'm bringing The Stand, and I'm finally going to read the damn thing.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yep. I read it on the first flight I ever went on when I went to Hawaii as a kid, so with my family. Yeah. So it's like, it's a long flight, and I'm going to be scared, so I'm going to read a scary book the whole time to feel better about it. I don't know.
I'll be scared of something else.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
There's no clowns in this place. I'll be fine.
I want to read The Stand, so it gives me good incentive.
Actually, I did just download the audiobook, because I have
Oh, I
the
would do that.
yeah,
Who
I have
reads
the
that?
Audible plan. I'd have
Is it
to
a
look.
bunch of different people?
No, it's a single author.
Which one? Is it
If-
is it Wings? Is Wings doing
Is
it?
it Wings doing it?
He did The Shining, I think.
Poor,
I just
poor
listened to that.
No,
poor
He
Steven
did-
Weber is always going to be Guy from Wings.
The guy
He's
from
been on,
Wings. Oh, totally.
So much stuff.
But I promoted the hell out of him with his It audiobook was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
You keep telling me I have to
Really
listen to it, and I
like
haven't
him.
yet.
Yeah.
Well, what's another show we want to talk about?
Steven
And I
Weber.
will look up my Audible.
Okay, well, can we go to movies or no?
Yeah, let's move on to movies then.
Okay,
I'm gonna
I'll
end
go.
with an actual person, so you guys do. You know what's
Okay.
coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming.
All right. Well, so I took a page out of like all three of yours playbooks today, and I actually only finished it a couple hours ago. I watched Alien.
Yay!
It was cool. I dug it, which of course I was going to, but I have so many problems. They killed Viper. They
Spoilers for a movie from a long time ago. Keep going.
Yeah, they killed Viper. They killed Winston from 1984. They killed Andy's dad. I was so upset.
Andy's dad?
I never thought of it that way.
Me neither.
Anytime I see him, that's who I think. When I saw him in Avengers, I was like, Andy's dad is in Avengers. That's crazy. But yeah, oh my God, no, it was so good. But to me, like, yeah, I was introduced to all three of those actors actually in the 80s. So this was like, oh my God, Tom Skerritt was so young and John Hurt was so young. And they were the first three that got killed off. I was like, oh my God, where'd they go? But oh my God, it was so amazing though. I had no
Can I
idea. Yeah, go.
That's your sorry, the quick question. There's so many things that are iconic from it that
Yeah.
did that ruin anything for you? They're
No,
iconic
because,
scenes.
like, okay, so like for example, you know, Al, because you were as huge of a fan too. When Jay and Kevin Smith do "What's in the Box,"
Yes.
I was watching the hell out of that.
Yep.
For
Yes.
I binge that when I need 10 minutes of happiness.
That's
I'll watch a
way,
random
yeah.
"What's in the Box." And
Yeah.
they got a bunch of alien toys, and they were like, "Oh, the face
Yes.
huggers and the cool and the alien and blah." And I've also too in Family Guy they spoof the alien with the other alien coming out of the mouth. And so
Yeah.
I've seen, I don't live under a rock,
And
so
he's
I've
like,
seen all
hey
those.
y'all, how you doing?
I'm gonna eat you, but I'm gonna eat you with my little
With
mouth.
My little mouth.
So,
I will
Even this
always
remote-
think. I'll always think of Spaceballs, though.
Me too.
Okay.
I'll always be,
Calamari,
that's my girl right there.
Yep.
Baseball. We'll always have that moment.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
But,
now
like-
you need
like-
to see.
no, I definitely will. But like legit though, as much as I've seen them in pop culture references or stuff like that, or toys where it's like it's accessible.
Yeah.
That thing is scary as all get out.
Yes,
So
it
that
is.
was
Yeah, definitely.
and that was
Maybe you didn't know when it was going to happen, or you
The
were
what?
probably. Did you feel like you knew it was going to happen when it was happening? I guess.
yeah, I was starting to like pick it up, but
Yeah.
then when it was intense. But also too, that wasn't CGI, right? Was that like a
Nope.
real thing?
Those are
See?
all
Because
physical
you-
effects.
You can tell. You could tell that
puppet, mama.
shit was in
That's-
a thing. Oh man, it
And
was
the
rad.
xenomorph's a guy in a suit. So yeah, that's all full on real
Can I
stuff.
tell you a fun fact? I'm sorry, I'm being
No,
interrupting.
no, please go ahead. I love fun facts.
The rest of the cast didn't know how that was going to go down. So they didn't know that it was going to pop out of him like that. So all
Oh
those
my
reactions
God,
are
those are
like
real.
legit, real horror, like surprise because they
So-
didn't
Okay,
know.
they look pretty upset.
Yep.
Like, I mean, they're. I mean,
Yeah.
I know all those actors are great, except for the other woman. Obviously, not Sigourney, but the little lady.
I know who you mean. I can't think of her name right now. I think it
She
was
was. I'm sorry. I'm with the IMDb, and I don't have time right now. But she was so bad. Oh my God. I don't know. I was annoyed by her. Something was pissing me off about her. But everybody else was so great, and yeah, like stellar cast, amazing effects with that huge thing. I'm trying to read my notes. When I was like, oh my God, Bilbo was a robot. I was like, what the hell is happening?
What would you have everyone else their other character names? Like the screen scroll Bilbo robot. as like the end credits.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's how you'll relate to it now, seeing Alien for the first time after all these years and
Yeah.
knowing all those actors from other things.
Well,
It's
that's what I'm
cute. I
saying.
like it.
I mean, yeah, like John Hurt. I mean, when the first time I saw 1984, it was he carried me through the whole thing. And and when I saw him as the War Doctor, I was like, oh my God, you're so great. But yeah, even at this, you know, him being so young, like he was amazing. And I've been in love with Tom Skerritt since Top Gun and Steel Magnolias. So to see him like prior to this was exciting, and it was really good. My only issue with it was, as gorgeous as Sigourney Weaver is, it was unnecessary to like declothe her in the final scene when she's in the shuttle. There's no need. She's walking around in her panties. Like, that's unnecessary.
I know, space underwear.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I get that.
Like, I get it. She's beautiful, but I don't need it. I was upset.
But there's some metaphor they're trying for of, you know, how the beauty killed the beast, whatever, but it's not necessary.
No, it's not necessary.
No, but it was exciting.
That's the only thing that's important.
I know.
And that is Lieutenant Ellen Ripley always is the badass. She's one of our heroes.
Definitely.
She's rad. I know. I know that about you guys, and that's cool.
She's up there with Sarah Connor. Everybody else I think puts her above Sarah Connor, but I'm like,
oh no, oh, they're like right there.
I love Sarah Connor. I wanted to be Sarah Connor when I grew up.
I want to be able to pull ups like that. I still got to work on my arm game.
But I am so happy that you saw Alien, and I will say that is I've been planning that to be a future episode for the Horror Academic because I want to do that box set. We were talking about this the other night, Allie. Of that series, the first one is my favorite because I like to say each one's a different genre, and I love the sci-fi of Alien, and the next one is Aliens is like the action movie. Alien 3 is like the horror movie. You know.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm looking forward to the action one then because I like action stuff more than sci-fi stuff. So
most people love Aliens, where I've watched Alien so many more times than Aliens. I don't have quite as much attachment to it, but I don't know. They're both great movies. Actually, I like the first three a lot, and I like the movies that came after, and you know,
me too.
There's something great in all of them. 4 is the only one I got to rewatch to find out what I'm missing. I admit this.
Seeing 4 after seeing Firefly, that's the precursor to Firefly, I feel.
That makes sense, knowing Josh wrote that. Yeah.
That he wrote, I was like, holy shit, that's where Firefly, I could hear it and see it in there.
I mean,
remind me, 4 is Winona Ryder, right?
Yep.
Winona,
okay.
Yes.
Ron Perlman, because I love Ron Perlman.
You're on love, yes, girl. I really liked 4, even though it is obviously has a way different voice.
Yeah.
Because especially when Joss has a hold of anything, even before I knew him, seeing that movie, because, you know, I watched Buffy super late and all that stuff. That's before Buffy, right?
Alien 4? Long before. Yeah. So I think it might be after the Buffy movie, but before the Buffy series.
Right.
So when you series was 97. So
okay. When you become a fan of his and then you know the style, it's funny to go back and watch Alien. When I was watching Alien 4, because I did enjoy it. I saw it in the theater, and I was like, "Oh, look at the little Josh's thingies are in there, like the way he all the Joshisms and the way the characters speak, and it's like Whedon-versy without knowing that existence yet." But then, I felt Firefly-ness coming from that band of space crew buddy misfits in a spaceship. So watch it now, thinking that a little, and you'll be like, "Huh."
That'll give me a new frame of reference. I like that idea. I mean, it's almost like
I did. I know a lot of people were like, "This is terrible." I was like, "Oh, fun."
I just remember
maybe they didn't want a alien movie, but I guess I did.
I remember seeing it in the theater, kind of bored, but I don't remember. Sorry. But I gotta watch it again. What was I gonna say about that? Oh, I was gonna say it's kind of like when you watch the first Avengers, especially, and you like, this is totally a Whedon show.
That's why I love the first Avengers the most out of all the stuff.
Yeah,
that
was my favorite.
Rewatchable to me. Yeah,
me too.
It's the Whedon, the Joss Whedon friendship.
Yep.
Love circle, another like a big hug. It makes me think of all you guys. I'm not just trying to be a smush.
Aw.
Because why I love him is because how he writes friendships, and we all have similar friendships like that.
Mhm.
And I feel like if we were ever put in a situation where we had to defend the universe or fight demons, we would probably do it and have little like jokey times, and I'd say we do a good job. Hopefully.
I love the idea of us.
There
There would be lots of quips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, lots of quipping. Yep.
That's how I see us. That's kind of what we like when we play, when we role play with
Yes.
you, Vic.
I'm so happy that I get to,
Jump in on
GM for
that.
you guys.
Oh, and back to
love it.
Firefly. That's the next one I want to do, and I feel like Crissa should join.
We've just started on this journey.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks to the world of, now that we're all very, video chat prone, we've been able to do things that took us forever to try to line up in the past. So we've been, every couple of weeks we meet up and game a little bit, which is it's heartwarming to me.
So little. It's so much
love
fun.
it.
And
It
she
is.
and I have been playing pretend since we were children.
And that's all it is, but with dice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know?
Backyards and pretend like we had magic wands and we could do spells.
Yeah.
So
I
you
pretended
go.
to be a Ghostbuster so much time in my backyard as a kid that,
Aw.
that's why Call of Cthulhu is just like my game. Because it's kind of like
Yeah.
being a Ghostbuster. But
hell yeah.
I played a lot of He-Man and She-Ra with my my best friend
There you
growing
go.
up. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
same. Yeah.
okay, so I'm going to skip on what movies I've been watching because I think anybody who watched this channel can tell you what movies I've been watching. Crissa,
No.
yeah. You got-
Don't ask me. I have not been watching any movies. I mean, this I've been consumed mostly by work these past couple of months. So
I get that.
I've been binging TV shows, but I can't really think of a movie I have watched. I do want to watch, and maybe when we meet next time, I could talk about it. That Kevin Bacon film that's out on Amazon.
The one that's like get out
You
of the
should
house.
have left, or we should have left, or we should have walked away before. And the house is bigger on the
We
on the
should have
inside
walked
than
away.
the house is a TARDIS. The house is a TARDIS because it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
Get out of the last house on the left.
Get out of the house on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, get out of the last house on the left on Haunted Hill because they have eyes. Is that the one you want to watch?
Lock
I
up
would
before
watch
you leave.
that.
Cabin in
Yeah,
the
no,
You made that
I
movie.
don't know.
I did. I no one will see it, but yeah, I did.
Oh no!
The very first film I ever made became like, hey, the house is a TARDIS, because that never makes sense when you're watching a scary movie and the house all of a sudden is much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So we played with it, and we totally made TARDIS jokes in it. So, and that was in the '90s. So that's how long I've been a geek. Anyway,
Yay!
So yeah, I kind of want to watch it, but I don't know. We'll see.
okay.
But I haven't really watched. I can't remember the last movie I have.
After
What?
the run of all the movies that I watched for my daily episodes, or what became my weekly episodes, or whatever we want to call those, the Day in the Life series, taking a break from movies so much right now and just starting to watch shows more because I needed to
That makes
to
sense.
catch up in the world too. I mean, I was in the middle of that and I put it on hold. So
Yeah.
I've been.
I mean, the
in
last
shows.
movie may have been the new Jumanji.
I
But
heard
like,
that was good.
it's mostly kid stuff that movie-wise that we'll watch, which those are fun. They are a lot of
I've heard
fun.
they're fun.
I
Yeah,
really
they
like
look
those
cool.
remakes, but yeah.
I have another
So.
confession. I've never
Yeah.
seen the first Jumanji.
Me either.
The
I
Robin
saw
Williams one or the
Probably,
none of them.
yeah, I've never seen it. I
it's
never
good.
watched Jumanji. Should I
It's
watch
good.
it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's fun.
I mean,
it's
I
just
love
it's
Robin,
fun, yeah.
but I guess
And
when it
he-
came out, I was like, kid stuff, because weren't we in maybe,
It was
I
like
guess,
95. Yeah, that came
we were
out in
in high
94.
school, and I was like, that's for children.
Yeah. I
Well, I
definitely had
had
the same
kids-
reaction.
I had kids
Yeah.
in my house, so they watched it and they
Oh,
became
that
obsessed
makes
with
sense.
it.
Yeah.
And I watched it constantly because of them. But yeah, no, he does a great job. Your girl Kirsten Dunst is in it. Our
That's
girl
true.
Kirsten Dunst is in it. She's
Oh.
great. Who's the adult lady? Jesus.
BB Newirth, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
No, she's in it, but I
Oh,
mean,
but
his
Phoebe-
Oh,
Phoebe's in
yeah,
it.
his
But the
girlfriend.
blonde, his little girlfriend, and then they grow up,
Isn't
and she's
she?
like,
Isn't she the wife from what's the Steve Martin? Cheaper by the Dozen. It's the wife from Cheaper by the Dozen.
I don't
Which
know, I
is
never
a-
saw that.
Which is a remake of
All right,
Eight is of his
IMDb.
that's a remake
Eight is
of
enough.
Eight.
Eight is enough for show.
No,
She
not Eight
did
is enough.
just drop 8 is enough.
No, but no,
Crap.
because that's a remake
IMDb.
also of the movie Yours, Mine, and Ours. Yours, Mine, and Ours,
Oh,
which my family always watched because it was one of those
Because-
movies about a big family. Because
I was like, because y'all were Eight is enough and My Two Dads and
Right.
whatever.
well, not
My
my
two
dads, but we were all
I'm
about
trying to think
kids
of more
outnumbering their
numbers.
parents. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is
The
Bonnie
Brady Bunch
Hunt.
routine.
Bonnie Hunt.
Oh,
Bonnie
Bonnie
Hunt
Hunt.
is good.
Yes,
Bonnie
Bonnie
Hunt.
Hunt.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay.
The cast is really
I
good, though,
don't
Al.
know
You'll
everything.
recognize everybody and be like, "Oh my God, he's great. She's awesome. Yeah, be
It is
Lewis,
really
blah,
good.
blah, blah." It's really good, and
How's
yeah,
on
it's.
still
I
on
even get a
furlough?
little teary. I'm not get teary for anything. I
Oh.
shouldn't say that anymore. But that's not a. I cry watching, commercials for stuff.
Me
so
too, girl.
To me, being like, oh, it makes me sad. Everything freaking makes me sad.
I know, me too. I cry too much. I can't say, oh, I cried. You're like, I think I said this to Vic. Didn't we have? I had him that makes me cry, and then I was like, but everything does.
Yeah,
Where were we
exactly.
Oh, but I was talking about when Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I'm like, I always cry at the end, but I was like, but I always cry at almost everything. So it's not like,
Same.
I get
I
choked
know I
up over
cried
weird
last night.
stuff, so don't worry
Yeah,
about
no,
it.
I cried last night during an episode of Sabrina. I can't remember which one, but
Oh.
I was like, but yeah,
I love
it's
it.
whatever. Jumanji, go check that out.
Okay, so
we're gonna watch.
we're gonna
Jumanji.
watch Jumanji.
Yeah,
we
we're
will
gonna
watch it and we'll report
We're
back
gonna
next
watch
time.
it and talk, and then yeah.
Yeah. Allie, I know you've been brimming over to talk about something special in your viewingdoms. Tell us all about it.
I'm not binging a movie or a show, but a person. Is that weird? We don't care. We're
Nope,
gonna go.
I do that too.
Yeah.
You binge people. Okay, so I want somebody down there to whoever's listening or to put on the comments if they binge a specific person. So like you see an actor and you're like, oh my God, I love this person. Or you see them in different pieces and then you start searching them out. You're like, give me everything they've ever done. And then you open like a giant cave of wonders. So I about like 10 or 11 years ago, I became aware of Matt Berry because of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Has anybody here seen it? Because this is something you all should see. Okay, it used to play on Adult Swim, but friends of ours that we share introduced it to me with like a pirated DVD, which is great because it's a British show. So the exact description is, it's a parody of an 80s horror television show that's part soap opera. Garth Marenghi is a fictional horror author making a TV show with his manager, Dean. It's set in Dark Place Hospital. Garth plays Dr. Douglas, who always carries a gun and tries to solve supernatural mysteries. So it's a 6-episode, just one series. So it's a show within a show. So it's set up with these fake characters, Garth Marenghi being like a very low rent Stephen King or Dean Koontz, where he's like introducing himself. He's like, I'm this amazing horror author. Of course, you know of me. And he's like super deep and intense. And he's like, in the 80s, I had this show called Dark Place. And now we're going to show the episodes, but we're going to break in between the episodes to talk about him as the actor or the other actors talking about their characters. And they're all like so serious about it. So then when you get to the show, it is an intentionally poorly overacted, badly shot, terrible special effects and sound effects, like 80s horror drama soap. So it's like over the top awful, and then it'll cut to them being like, in this scene it was so important for me. Yeah, and it's hilarious. There's 6 episodes and it's all on YouTube. I checked last night.
Nice.
There's this actor, Matt Berry, who's got an amazing voice that my friend and I, when he showed me the show, we're like, is that his voice? Is this really him? Or it had to be dubbed. Like, you couldn't believe his voice was like that. So then once I that was in the can, and it's kind of like the guy with the voice. You kind of forget about it, but then you start hearing and seeing him everywhere. So 3 years ago, I watched the IT Crowd on Netflix, which I think a lot of us watched.
Very good.
Hilarious.
Very good. Yeah. Love it.
I was like, that's the guy, the guy with the voice. What, Matt Berry? I'm like, write it down. Who? That's the voice guy, right? And then Netflix. After I was done the IT Crowd, then was like, you'll like this. And it was Toast of London. And that was a show he did where it was all him as the main character. This voice actor, again, like an over-the-top actor, his name's Stephen Toast. And there's 3 seasons of that. So I watched all of Toast of London. And that is like raunchy and surreal and crazy. I know it's not for everyone. I dug it. So that was like Matt Berry, yes. And then he's done voice acting in Disenchantment. He's on that. And it's like you'll start to see him in things. I'm a big Mighty Boosh fan. He was in that. I was like, oh, there he is again. There he is again. So you see him popping up in all this stuff. So then cut to What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show. Mm-hmm. He's Laszlo Cravensworth, the main vampire, which I think everyone's watching that. It's excellent. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, oh, there's Matt Berry. Okay, now he's like even in a bigger scope of American television. Before, like you kind of had to know him and seek out the British shows, or like it's cool that Netflix offers that. So we had the last season of What We Do in the Shadows through the whole pandemic. It started in April, I think, like April 15th, which was great. I was just happy to have something that funny and awesome.
Definitely.
Just to be like, oh, let's every week get a laugh in. And of course it was cool to see, can I say spoilers, Mark Hamill in the last episode. That was so awesome. Did you watch it, Vic? Did I just ruin something?
No, we watched all of it, yeah.
Oh, thank God. Okay. I didn't even
When he came on, I was like, Tim and I were watching that episode. I'm like, I think that's Mark Hamill. And he's like, no, it's not. I'm like, no, I think that's Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
See, I follow Mark Hamill on Twitter, and I didn't watch it like the day it came out, and he put up something about it, and he's like, I was, wait, what? And then I kind of forgot about it, and we watched it a week later, and I was like, oh yeah, Mark Hamill. You know, I do that a lot because I'm always late.
One of the producers, or it was a couple of the producers, when they were around the pool table, somebody was like, just pick up the cues. And they're like, we're going to have to do this, right? And you're like, yeah, of course we're going to have a lightsaber fight with the pool cues. So awesome. So after that, I was just like, more Matt Berry, what can I get? So then I just like put his name in on like the Roku search, and I was like, give me all that you have. And through all these things, Matt's also singing in songs like Toast of London has musical numbers in it. And then there's been song that he's singing in, and I don't know what didn't make me connect that this guy actually has a music career. He's got 6 albums.
Wow.
Oh my God.
All streaming. I've been listening to them nonstop. Yeah, the Toast of London theme song he wrote, besides the other songs within that. There's a bunch of songs on What We Do in the Shadows that he's written and sung. So here's like some new stuff, okay? I'll say these 3 new to me things. So I went back really far and I found Snuffbox, and that's from 2006, and that's 6 episodes, and it's like, it's another dark comedy. Again, it's like, it's raunchy, it's kind of surreal, and it's with Rich Fulcher that you guys would... Rich Fulcher is another one of those comedians that
he's on Drunk History all the time.
He's on Drunk History all the time, and he's one of the best drunk historians
oh my
ever.
God, yes.
When it's a Rich Fulcher episode, you're like, strap in, this is going to be insane. He's like that in everything I've seen. He was in the Mighty Boosh. I think he also does a voice in Disenchantment. So he's one of those comedians that also pops up everywhere, and it's like the similar people pop up together, which is cool because you're like, oh, they're all friends and they're fun, and then they make all this cool content. Snuffbox I paid for because I was just like, give me all the Matt Berry, and it was like, you can only watch this if you give us $10 on Amazon Prime, and I was like, fine. So I own that. I think it's probably scattered around YouTube, but I just wanted it all in one place. Again, I like the description I found for this. It's a dark sitcom. 2 hangmen compete for women, money, and happiness.
Oh,
So
wow.
Matt's hangman enriches his assistant. So every episode begins with them killing somebody. and it goes through like a weird part of their day. But again, it's odd. It's definitely super raunchy. It's surreal. There's like a couple inside jokes that run through the whole like 6 episodes, and there's a theme and a musical number that repeats itself that they sing almost every episode in some way or form. That's again not for everybody. I loved it. Then we have, so what's like very new is Year of the Rabbit, and that was last year, 2019. And that was supposed to be on IFC, but I didn't see it. And when I went to go search for that online, like streaming on IFC, I couldn't find it. So I had there was an app called Topic on Roku, and it said that it had it. So I got it for like the 1 week free trial, and just like, I forget how many episodes. It's just one season. Like, British seasons are super short.
Mhm.
So it's just like, okay, quick. That one is a Victorian detective, like a comedy / drama crime show. And he's this like alcoholic cop. His name is Rabbit. And the story is because his father couldn't think of a name and just named the kids after things they saw in the yard of the church that they went to. So there's moments in it that's serious, and then there's like the goofballiest like British comedy times that come in. And that's a little raunchy and it's dirty. Do you see a theme? And I thought it was great. And he also wrote the music for it. So now that I've been listening to all his music, I'm just like, oh, is that Matt? Yes, it is. So I recommend Year of the Rabbit. Snuffbox for the oddness if you want to go there. Like I feel like if you like Toast of London, you'd like Snuffbox. Here's something else that I don't know if I can recommend. So there's another new one. It was in 2018. It's An Evening with Beverly Luff Lynn. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I think it's on Netflix. I found it on Amazon and paid for it. I didn't know if it still is on Netflix. And you know that I love odd things, or most of the people watching may or may not know. This was too odd for me, so that's saying a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I know I go over like a line that Vic's like, no thanks, I'm good.
Yeah.
And I'll like Tim and Eric, like, I'm like, let's get crazy. And you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I want to be less crazy.
This was for me. And I love the cast. It's got Aubrey Plaza, Craig Robinson, Jermaine Clement.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Wow.
These
And
are all
it's
good
funny
people.
because Matt plays the most straight-laced of all of them. Like, everyone is like up to 11 with the screwball, and he's kind of like even keeled, where he's usually like just as like
It's the
goofy.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Made me feel was it was like if Twin Peaks was a comedy, because it was like the way that sometimes like David Lynch would cast like really strange actors or have the way the dialogue's written, or the way the dialogue's even spoken to be odd, but this almost seemed like forced, and everyone was doing it. Like Lynch will have 1 or 2 people like that's quirky, but everyone can't be the quirkiest, weirdest character.
No.
Yeah.
And I love Napoleon Dynamite, like stuff like that I adore. But this was, even for me, I almost felt like it was like trying too hard to be strange.
Okay.
And it was full of like moody, creepy synth music. So that's where it was like oddness, but then there's dark music underneath it. I almost want to say check it out and see what you think, but I don't know. At the end was kind of sweet, and I was like, oh, but I couldn't sit through it again. I was like, I don't know if I can recommend that, but that's
So that's
like
maybe a watch for free if you can.
that's like, yeah, watch your friend and then be like, Vic, I don't think you can get through
I
it.
already just checked that one off my list. I was like, scratch.
But I
Go
almost
back to
want
the
to
other
see how
ones.
much of it you could get through.
It's like a challenge for me someday.
Yeah,
Okay,
that would be
keep that in mind.
challenge. And then this whole time I've just been like binging his music nonstop, which is like a 70s psychedelic folk vibe, but it also
wow.
has like Renaissance-y medieval feeling. Like it made
my
me
God.
really miss like Ren Fair, especially it being in the summer. It's kind of it like even fits this time of year perfectly for me. Like his music just being the soundtrack of my days has kind of brought like I don't want to say a lightness, like it's fluffy and doesn't mean anything, but there's the frustration and anger and everything we're all feeling. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like when I put that on, I almost want to like lay down in a field of daisies in the sun, and I never say shit like that. But know, just like, oh, relax. Oh, this is beautiful and cool and different. There's a lot, like I said, there's 6 albums. There's a new one coming out September 18th called Phantom Birds. But the one, my favorite is called Kill the Wolf. That's the most like Renaissance-y feeling. And I'd say even like start with that if you want to check something out. And then a little like fun fact or like street cred. He was on Josh Homme's Desert Sessions volumes 11 and 12. You know, where they all fought, like a bunch of artists just go into like the California desert and he like creates all these collaborative albums.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He did like vocals and keyboards and sang on a couple of those songs. I was like, word. Yeah. So I'm a Matt Berry fan, y'all.
So that was our quick
Matt
catch-up
Berry
lesson on
corner.
everything Matt Berry.
There you go. Check him out.
That's-
And if
but
you do, let me
that's the-
know.
That's the key of a good like actor or singer or performer in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is like Zachary Quinto made me a Trekkie.
Yep.
Like, because I was watching Heroes, I was like unemployed and sad, and I was watching Heroes,
Mhm.
and then I did the same thing that you did, Al. I
You
was just
binged
like,
a person. I
I
remember.
binged
yeah.
Zachary Quinto. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
love him, and this is like
Well,
2006, so it wasn't as
yeah.
easy to find everything that they did.
Right.
But when I did, I was like, oh, because I binged him after I watched Heroes, so I guess it was like past 2009. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he was in this weird movie like Star Trek and he played like a young Spock. And I was like, oh, let me check that out. And that was my introduction to Star Trek, was that
Oh,
movie.
wild.
And then
Okay.
I was
Mel,
like,
you need to
oh,
you need to watch Nosferatu because he's the big bad in that.
yeah,
Ooh.
exactly. That's still
Mhm.
on my list. But like because of that, I was watching that stupid Tori Spelling show that he played her best friend.
Which show
And
was
Whoa.
that?
that
I
was
don't even know.
fucking terrible. I don't remember. It was probably only on for like a day, but I can't remember what it was called. But it was like it had her name in it. It was like a word. It was like terrific or something. I can't. Oh my god, I can't remember. But anyway, he was in that, and he was great, but everybody else sucked. And then so I binged him, like you said. You know,
Yeah.
like
I mean-
you find everything about the
I was like,
person.
what can I get? I'll
Yeah.
take it all.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
binge creators all the time. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
binge. I'll go through a director. I'll go through a writer. I mean, I'll even sometimes pick a producer and go through all their stuff because it's like, oh my god,
Yep.
this person loves all the things I love, so let me watch all the things he made. You know, like
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I totally. You know,
Yep.
I will say really quickly, Star Trek Discovery. I really wanted to talk to you about it, but I know you're not watching it. So, but there is some Spock action in season 2, and I just
Oh,
Smart.
yeah.
When he
Melissa.
starts to become introduced and stuff. Yeah, I know. But if it's not Nimoy, I can't fucks with it.
Well,
I mean,
it's even younger than Quinto, so it's
Yeah.
before that period. Yeah,
I
but
know that's true.
one of these days. I don't know.
No,
All right.
I know. I get you.
All right, so we've been talking for quite a while, and we should probably sum this up a little bit. So,
you want to
I
keep going all night? What time
I know
is
we
it?
could. It's 9:30.
9:30.
It's after 9:30 already. So I'm going to say we're going to wrap this up. But I want to thank everyone who tuned in, either live, the few of you, and we appreciate it. We love you all, and we thank you. And those of you who are watching it after the fact, when we decided it was safe for the public consumption, and we let it free into the world. Thank you so much for sticking it out with us and checking out our first episode. And we apologize for all the moving of equipment and furniture and my
Am I
lighting
running
adjustments. And so this is gonna evolve. This is gonna become a thing, and we're gonna as it moves along, we'll probably be a little bit more themed, but we just wanted a basic topic to get us started and to just get comfy with this live thing. So thanks for tuning in. Anybody have any closing remarks? Anybody got anything they want to say on the way out?
I love this. It's it's like hanging out with our friends.
It is.
And that's the kind of thing I like to watch and I like to listen to. We all
Me
know
too.
like the podcast that we're into and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this was just special. Thank you.
Yeah, and this is
Thank
only
you
maybe
so
a
much,
monthly. I thank you guys for doing this with me. And I mean, even if we only do this maybe on a monthly basis, I still think it's a fun thing that we can do. And hopefully, share with you guys. And, that's what the comment section is for too. Please put in some notes. What did we turn you on to tonight that you didn't know about? Or maybe you learned the history of Matt Berry like the rest of us. Or
You're welcome. Hey, Matt.
And but tell us or give us some topics. Give us a topic for next month.
Yeah, that'd be
I
fun.
mean, we might do one a little sooner. We have some topics already brewing in our heads. But recommend something. And if you really like this, I don't know, maybe subscribe or share
Or like.
tell your friends. Yeah, do all those wonderful things that we do with podcasts. Even though this is a podcast for your eyes, because that's what I do.
Yes.
But thanks for coming on this journey with us. And I would also like to really quickly say, make sure you're watching The Horror Academic on this channel, and check out Brook Reading Podcast, for your ears.
Yay.
And we'll see you sometime soon to talk more about all the things that we love that, we thought you might want to hang out with us and talk about. All right. So
Yay.
thank you so much for tuning in for our pilot episode, our episode 0, as it were. And we will see you again sometime in the future. Thank you so much. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.